Today, I want to talk about a story from the Buddhist scriptures that I find incredibly fascinating. It's about a very strange, even emotional, encounter between the Buddha and an elderly stranger. This story takes the concept of karma, something we hear about often, but find abstract, and acts it out in a very concrete way. It shows us how this force operates across hundreds of lifetimes, in ways we could never imagine. Let's jump straight into the story. The unexpected encounter. Imagine the scene. The Buddha is walking through the streets of Shravasti, surrounded by his disciples. Suddenly, an old man looking very poor and aged bursts through the crowd. He is shouting, my son, and rushes forward to embrace the Buddha. The monks were stunned. They didn't know what was happening. But following the Buddha's word, they stepped aside. The old man rushed up and hugged the Buddha tightly, weeping inconsolably. It took a long time for his intense emotions to finally settle down. The disciples were full of questions. This behavior was so strange and intense. They asked the Buddha to explain what was going on. The first clue, 500 lifetimes of fatherhood. The Buddha provided the first and most shocking clue. He said, this old man was my father for 500 consecutive lifetimes in the past. That explained it. His reaction was so direct, so instinctive. The feeling of being a father was etched into his very bones. The moment he saw the Buddha, that long-standing habit, vasana, simply exploded. The paradox, why the poverty? But this brought up an even bigger question. If he had such a deep connection with the Buddha, shouldn't he have immense merit blessings? Why was he so destitute and miserable in this lifetime? The Buddha's explanation revealed the dark side of this relationship. He explains that the old man's current suffering was the direct result of his actions during those 500 lifetimes as a father. The karmic chain worked like this. Driven by clinging love, the father constantly obstructed his son, who was then a bodhisattva, from practicing. He couldn't bear to let his son give alms, and he certainly didn't want him to leave home to seek enlightenment. Eventually, the bodhisattva, the future Buddha, made a vow, may he not be my father in the next life. That vow, combined with the act of obstructing someone's spiritual path, accumulated as negative karma. The scriptures emphasize this point heavily. To obstruct someone who sincerely wishes to practice, even if your intention is good or born out of love, results in a karmic retribution similar to destroying a stupa pagoda. That is how serious the consequences are. The power of a sincere vow. You might wonder, if his past karma was so bad, how did he get the chance to meet the Buddha and find the path to liberation? Isn't that a contradiction? This is the wonder of karma. The thread of this story stretches back 91 eons. Long ago, one of the Buddha's past fathers made a wholesome vow to one day have a son as magnificent as a Buddha. More importantly, during the era of Kashyapa Buddha, this old man had actually been a monk. Though he didn't succeed in his practice then, he made a crucial vow on his deathbed. May I be ordained under Shakyamuni Buddha in a future life and attain arhatship. These wholesome vows, made across different times and spaces, were like invisible threads that finally wove together during this encounter. After hearing the Buddha explain his past, the old man immediately requested to be ordained. The Buddha agreed. He practiced with great diligence and eventually attained arhatship. The power of that ancient vow was strong enough to transcend 500 lifetimes of negative karma and guide him to ultimate liberation. Reflection. Are you a help or a hindrance? This ancient story poses a core question for our lives today in your relationships. Do you play the role of a supportive condition, Sui Yuan? Or are you unknowingly becoming an obstacle? Think of it this way. The Buddha's compassion and wisdom are like a powerful TV station broadcasting 24/7. But if our own TV set isn't turned on, or isn't tuned to the right frequency, we will never receive the signal. This explains why the Buddha couldn't save his father earlier. The father had to be ready to tune his own heart to the right channel. This story reminds us to look at ourselves. When we interact with family and friends, do we see their potential for goodness and encourage them? Or do we, because of our own attachments and opinions, unintentionally become stumbling blocks in their growth? By supporting others on the right path, we are ultimately fulfilling our own journey as well. So, here is a question to leave you with. In the lives of those you care about, are you a force that helps them grow, or a force that holds them back? Are you helping them tune their life's television to a better channel, or are you the source of the interference?